to cut everybody off.
Like now.
I don't think that's wild.
Orgy going on? My man said he's a joke.
She aged like cheap.
You got
Speak on it, brother. Speak on it.
Practically become Bruce Wayne.
What we gotta do, Mika?
Push the goddamn button, man.
What up? 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 What's going on? What's happening, Chrissy? What it do? What's up? What's going on? Yeah, we are here like the Who's in Whoville. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we do. You know.
You feel me? What up, Chrissy? What up, Keisha? What's going on? What's really going down?
What's happening, Keisha? What's going on?
I'm saying,
Not gonna hold you. This movie really wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. And you know it's sad. Like when I first found out about it, bro, I was actually excited. I was like, "Oh shoot, they bringing it back. They running it back. All right, cool. They got a new director. Oh, okay. I still could, you know, it still could work. It still could work. Oh, it's shorter than the first one. Oh, so that means they did some cuts. Because I will tell you, the third act of this movie. Anyway, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. But before we do, we're gonna introduce Show You Jive Turkeys. What's up? What's up, everybody? We'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Popcorn in Your Beer podcast. I'm your host, Rashad.
really nothing. And last but not least,
I don't have anything.
And last but not least, I am the King MOE, aka no matter what, I always go first. What else? I just want to tell you about my best friend. What else? Sidebar.
Okay.
What do you call a cheap circumcision? A ripoff.
We not gonna be doing that. Where were we at? I'm gonna go to read the synopsis for this. It's currently sitting at a 24% on Rotten Tomato. Anyway, Andy leads Immortal Warriors against a powerful enemy threatening their group. It's not what happened. They grapple with the resurfacing of a long lost immortal, complicating their mission to safeguard humanity.
The enemy wasn't that powerful. I'm not gonna hold you.
They weren't. And
The
for
enemy
you
was
and for you
not
to get
that powerful.
man, for you to get pieced up by Uma Thurman with locks. Yeah, no.
The
Man,
enemy wasn't that powerful, y'all.
at all.
The potential was there.
Maybe it was because she
Potential was
lived
not
longer,
capitalized.
and she was mortal. Yeah. What's happening, Ken?
Ken was at her.
Yeah, she was mortal. So how you let a mortal beat an immortal? Brother, I ain't gonna hold you. When they fought and she done sliced up her Achilles tendon, her patella tendon, her atherus, and everything else she done sliced up. I looked at the time and I said, brother, wait, 3 minutes left in this movie. I know it's 3 minutes left in this movie. I know they ain't about to do this. I know they ain't about to do this. And then it cut to some music. I said, hey, take me out.
Where my keys at? Where my keys at? I'm about to
Take me out. I was thoroughly upset. Cause why?
So
it's this thing. It's really one of those things of when you come up with a cool concept, you come up with a dope idea, you make a pretty good movie that a lot of people really didn't know about, and you just kind of like now you want to feed it, and it's not hungry. So it's just like, the cast is pretty much the same from the first movie because they're immortal. Charlize Theron is back as Andy, even though she's a lot more butch in this movie, I would say. Like, I was like, y'all turn her to what's Duke's favorite word?
don't worry about it.
I said, so she went from like what? Like, and that's the thing, like they didn't explain, like, was she a lesbian? Like, I didn't really understand, but she was giving off like heavy lesbian vibes. But also, like in the first movie, that wasn't the case. So it was like, were they just friends, or like were they? I guess a lot can happen in 7 years. I don't know.
Or 500. I mean, hey, who's counting?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But she did seem older in this movie. I would say that. Like she physically looked older in this movie, but it was only 6 months later. And I think like that was the issue. Like it was only 6 months. You know, she looked different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that word.
That's not what that said.
I'm not saying that word. But yeah, bro. I was just like, they introduced 2 new characters, one from the last movie and then one new dude that I've never heard of, that nobody else heard of. And it was just like they had the whole he was sitting in the back, you know what I'm saying? Like he told me not to tell nobody about him. And then they all felt betrayed by that. Oh, you lied to her?
So first of all, I gotta give a shout out to Chris. Because when we announced that we were reviewing this movie, she beat me to the punch asking, hey, do I need to watch the first one first? And Rashad was like, yes, please go watch the first one. So I actually just finished watching the second one, like,
what's up, Key?
45 minutes ago. But I was glad, what's up, Kiana? I'm glad I watched the first one first. So context before we can get into this movie. In the first Old Guard, there was a portion of the movie where they bring in the new immortal. The new immortal has a dream, wakes up frantic out of this dream, and they are compelled to ask her, what did you see? Because the movie reveals that immortals, they dream about one another, but then once they connect, the dreams about each other stop.
So Mo, if what you're saying is correct, right? If what you were saying is 100% correct, how did they know about Tua? See, this is what happens when you have continuity issues when you switch directors.
Because you cannot tell me about Tua this whole time, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to have dreams about it. So they bring in Niall Freeman. She has a dream. They're like, what did you see? And she was like, I seen a coffin underwater. A young lady was trying to fight her way out, hands bloody. She could not escape. So everybody in the room was like, we know who you saw in that dream. You just don't know who you saw.
Right.
And they were basically telling her, her name is Quinn. That was Andy's road dog. Andy,
big mistake,
was by herself for like 3,000 years before she met Quinn and realized she's like me. Her and Quinn was road dogs. They fought thousands. They caught thousands of fades with each other. And the one thing about us immortals, the thing that we fear most is not becoming mortal and dying, but becoming captured and being trapped in a cage for all eternity. And basically, that's what happened to Quinn. They ran down on Quinn and Andy, and everything they tried to do to them to kill them. Every time they tried to take them out of the game, it wouldn't work. Mm-hmm. So finally, somebody like a priest steps in and was like, "Y'all are too powerful together. We got to separate y'all." And they pretty much put Quinn in a coffin and threw her to the bottom of Crystal Lake with Jason. And it's like, because the immortals can't die. Mm-hmm. It's like, basically it's suffering, because it's like she drowns, then she wakes up, then she drowns, then she wakes up, then she drowns, then she wakes up. And this takes place for a couple hundred years. So mm-hmm. This movie starts out with Discord, who the movie will introduce us to as Discord. The movie starts out with Discord finding that coffin and bringing it out of the water. And Quinn is still inside the coffin, alive, 500 years later. And
so let me ask you this, bro. What was the story of this movie?
So the person who found Quinn, mm-hmm. her name is Discord. Apparently, okay. Discord is the first ever immortal.
Okay.
And I can't really tell you what her disposition was, like what her big plan was. Mm-hmm. Because at least in the first one with Merrick, his thing was, y'all got that Wolverine shit going on, right? So we need to pull samples from y'all so that we can give this shit to the world. At least we knew what his plan was. Mm-hmm. Discord is like, I mean, you're diabolical, you're mean, you got evil intentions, but what are they for real? No, you know what? Her plan, because she's mortal,
yeah, They had Dudley from Harry Potter.
So Discord is mortal, and her plan is to again become immortal.
Yeah, but this is the issue. So this is the issue, right? At what point did she become mortal?
She might have been mortal the whole time. The movie just didn't reveal that.
But that's my point. So at what point, like, if she's the oldest living immortal, which she's not immortal anymore. But how did she become mortal?
Right, because even in her explanation with Niall,
it doesn't make sense.
She was like, I am the first immortal. Niall is the last immortal. Niall doesn't know that she possesses the power to transfer immortality to other people. Cool, but that still doesn't explain how you became mortal.
No, they don't say. They said. Did they say that?
Discord said that because she was like, "You got a birthmark on your left arm, don't you?" Well, she didn't tell Niall. What she told Niall was, "You're the last born immortal. There will be no more born after you." But when she ran down on Andy, she was like, Niall don't even know it yet, but she got the power to transfer immortality. Like, she can take immortality from a mortal.
She can't give
somebody else.
No, she can't give it. It has to be given.
It has to be given willingly.
Yeah.
So Queen gets out,
which is stupid. Because
Queen gets out.
Because what words do you have to? Is there a ritual? Do you have to say words, or is it just like, I will my power to you?
Like are we doing the fusion dance? Like, what is happening?
Like, it's just too many plot. Like, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Do I grab your arm and do this like in the like?
But like when you take a movie, right? Like the first one like overly explained a lot of stuff, and some people didn't like that. But you take the second one where you don't explain nothing; the stuff just happens. But but how do you will it over? Like he didn't, like.
It's said by multiple characters that has to be given willingly, but it doesn't say you got to stand across from each other. You got to give dap. You got to hit the blunt and then pass it. Like they don't. It doesn't explain it.
Right.
So Queen gets out, and the first person she seeks is Booker. Which, if you've seen the first one, Booker got exiled because he was on some fuck shit for a little bit. And then was like, damn.
6 months later, it's fine. It's all good.
Like, damn, my bad. I didn't know they was going to double cross me. They offered me some bread. I said, bet, send it to my Cash App.
My bad, y'all.
The Cash App hit, and I thought I was just going to be on their team, but they was like, nah. I mean, you can keep the bread, but we got what we needed out of you. Now, here go Adidas tracksuit. Because he started the movie with the top on and not the bottom, but then later on he had the bottoms on but not the top. He go, you Adidas tracksuit for your pain and suffering, and hey, we don't need you no more. So they exiled him at the end. So Queen gets out, finds Booker. So Booker was like, yo, I gotta let the gang know that Queen fresh out. Like,
which is weird.
She got out on good behavior.
Why would you even kidnap in the first place?
Because she was trying to find Andy. And he was like, you know what? I'm not going to hold you. I can't tell you where Andy is because you know how in the gang you get jumped in? Like I got jumped out. Like I'm not gang no more.
But if he doesn't know where she's at, it's the same as you going to look for her.
she felt like she could save time. It was like, okay, you was one of the homies. You got to know something. And you know what? I'm not going to hold you.
Let me ask you
I'm
this.
sorry, but I really don't.
Let me ask you this, Mo. You weren't here for the first podcast, right?
The very first one, Knock Knock?
No, I'm talking about
No,
the very
I heard
first
about
one that we didn't release. But you weren't here for it. So let's say that person that was on that first original set, right, was kicked out. Would you go to them to figure out what was going on with them? It's like they don't know anything.
That wouldn't be the first card I play. But if I just happen to see that person, it's like, okay, let me shake them down. I mean, I ain't got nothing to lose. I might as well shake them down anyway. If they don't know nothing, they don't know nothing. Cool. But if they do, then it's a win-win.
I guess.
So she had to shake him down just off GP. She had to. And then he was like, they exiled me. They don't fuck with me like that.
Bro,
I really don't know where Andy at, cuz.
I ain't gonna hold you. This did irk me, bro. This irked my soul. You couldn't find me in the smallest area. You in the ocean, cuz.
Like
at a depth where I don't know.
Like I don't care how long you've been alive. The ocean ain't small.
At no time was it ever small.
The planet is covered by 80% water. The ocean is not small.
And it's animals down there too, cuz.
We know more about a rock floating around the planet than we do about the water that we live in. Like she really just had to say that shit to make her feel bad.
Oh, guilt tripping, man.
I searched for centuries, yeah, but you stopped though. Nigga, centuries, cuz.
Centuries, cuz.
You was down for 500.
500.
500, bro.
Sold out, man.
So
you be angry
for one reason or another.
Well, women hold a grudge, boy. Because to be angry for 5 years and wake up angry is crazy.
So they go on this vacation of sorts, right? They get off the boat, and it's like, hey, we on vacation. Let's just you feel me? Let's enjoy this vacation. So Buddy's boyfriend husband was like, hey, I want to have some time to myself. You feel me? Because so he dipped, and Niall was like, hey, what's up with Buddy? And he was like, I don't know, but I've known this nigga for 1,000 years, and I know when he lying.
Mm-hmm.
Whole time he had been in communication with Booker during Booker's exile. So he follows him to find out, oh, this nigga been talking to Book. So then Book lets them know.
But bro, they've been living for thousands of years, right?
Centuries.
Millennia
is the word that they like to use. Millennia.
So you mean to tell me you can't tell when somebody following you, cuz? It wasn't like they was in a different, they was in the same cab. Y'all going the same way. Hey, what do you mean?
I'm talking about since the 1700s, 1800s.
Man, hey, go ahead. Get up out of here.
So yeah. So they run down on him, realize he been in communication with Book. And then, Book had to break the news. It was like, hey, I need y'all to take me to Andy. So they go back to the crib. I feel like I'm skipping something.
He don't get hands put on him. Bro,
I am skipping something. So this whole vacation thing. So Buddy had Niall accompany him to follow his husband. Meantime, Andy and Copley is on the way to go meet up with Tua. I mean, we don't know this until she get there, but she goes and meets up with Tua. And it's like, hey, what's happening? And he's like, shit, hey, what's happening? You feel me? So they get to chopping it up, and you figure out quickly, okay, he's also an immortal. And the significance of this part, Andy talks to him about her friend, which is Copley. He then takes them down to the library. Now, this is a library that Niall has a dream about. And Andy's like, well, what did you see in your dream? And she was like, I seen a lady in a library and a guy, Chilakiana, and she was stealing books from the librarian.
Hey, yo.
And then stole the books and then poked up the librarian and then dipped, but I couldn't see her face. So when Tua takes them down there, the first thing Andy notices is, nigga, you got the whole entire Britannica goddamn encyclopedia collection, but you got this whole empty ass shelf over here. And he was like, yeah, old girl came down here and took it. This movie,
There's no real listen. You know why you having a hard time with this? The story doesn't make sense because the plot doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. None of this the movie doesn't make sense. You know why the movie doesn't make sense? Because of the so there's a scene, bro, where Andy and Quinn meet up and they have this little squabble, right? How is it that Andy notices that Quinn is mortal because she's bleeding and the bleeding doesn't stop, but Quinn doesn't know that Andy is mortal when she cuts her and the bleeding doesn't stop? At some point, like, none of them like stop and be like, oh, well, I pay attention, but you know what I'm saying? I be living, like 1,000 years and I know what be going on, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just bouncing back and forth between what's going on in this movie. And it's just like,
but Quinn doesn't become mortal to the end of the movie.
I get that, but you know that a person is mortal if they get cut. And I don't remember in the first one because it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years. It's been 5 years. In the first one, I didn't know that they healed that fast. Because this is almost instant.
They said different injuries take different amounts of time to heal.
Okay, like getting into a car crash, like
getting shot in the head, getting your throat slit.
Yeah. Like getting shot in the head just didn't seem like it lasted. Like it was instant. You got your patella tendon cut, your Achilles cut, your atherus all sliced up. You know what I'm saying? So at what point, like how quick are these injuries healing?
Well, everybody's different.
No, they all heal fast, bro.
They do, but I'm saying, like,
the first one was cool. The first one was cool because it took them a minute. Like, you remember that opening scene where they all get shot up?
Where they ran into the ambush?
Yeah. And you like, oh, they done.
They had gunshots in their face.
Yeah. Everywhere. And it took them a while for those bullets to
they laid there for about 30 seconds to a minute.
In this
long enough for them boys to turn around and be like, yeah, I dumped a clip on that one, but
I've shot it up by
we finna go
37
to Waffle House
times
after this. We finna go to Waffle House after this. I mean, what y'all about to do?
I gave him
like they had enough time to have like irrelevant sidebar conversations.
Yeah. But in this one, you don't get no time. You get 10 seconds, if that.
So Booker lets
I don't care anymore,
Andy
Chris.
know. Booker lets Andy know that Quinn is out. So Andy is like, no. Book passed Andy a capsule. She opens the capsule and it's a note. And she reads the note. And Quinn is like, come looking for me where you know you can find me at. So she was
and where is that? And where is that?
Gotta go pull up on her. And you know what? I will say, this might have been the best part of the movie because as she's walking to the location. The director turned this into like a her walking down memory lane kind of shot, because it shows like a 70s version of Booker with the aviator shades and the Ric Flair, and then you see Tua and you see all these other different people, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. So then she gets to the place where she knew she would find Quinn, and they have their little back and forth, this, that, and the third. And of course, Quinn is guilt tripping the dog shit out of Andy. And Quinn, emotional and angry, she gets up, walks away. Andy's is behind her. Nile refused to let Andy go by herself, but then as she's trailing Andy, she fucks around and sees Discord walking the streets, and she was like, "Oh, that's the lady that I seen in my dreams that shanked the librarian." Now I gotta follow her. She follows her into a church, and that's when Discord has this whole conversation about, "I'm the first ever, you the last. There will be no more after you. The first and the last. We both got the birthmark on our left arm. This, that, and third. Woo woo. You got powers beyond your own comprehension. Blase, blase, skill." So before, fuck is this on my webcam? Right before Quinn start running the fade. Well, no. Nile had already told Andy that she saw Discord. Then Discord walked off, and she walked behind Discord, and then Quinn wanted to run the fade.
1v1.
But whole time, Andy never got the opportunity. Well, she did, but she started to tell Quinn that she was no longer immortal. But Quinn was like, "Nigga, fuck you! I don't want to hear this shit." 500 years? I was underwater, dying over and over for 500 years. And every time breath came back into my body, it was just enough time for me to remember that I thought you was out here looking for me, and you wasn't. And then when they was talking to Tua was like,
if she would have said it like that, I probably would have been. I was like, "Hey man,"
and Tua was like, "Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. Discord used to be the homie, and we was there when Queen got locked up." And I tapped Discord on the shoulder. I said, "Hey, they want us. We need to step in and do something." And Discord was like, "Nah, she good." But I'm like, what beef? Because if it was the X-Men, Magneto would have been like, "Hey, she want us. We got to go in there and get her."
So Andy walked the earth, they said, for 3,000 years before
she met Quinn.
Before she met Quinn.
And then they was down for like 1,500 years before Quinn got locked up. And then Quinn was locked up for 500 underwater torture for 500 years, cuz.
It was pretty blocked. I don't know, man. I guess I didn't really, like, when you say it, you kind of feel for it, but in the movie, I didn't really feel for it because, like, she just came off as aggressive. It wasn't like, man, listen, man, I've been doing this like by myself, like I've been dying and all this other stuff, and you was out here just chilling, living your life, saving the world and doing this, but you wasn't saving me. I'm hurt. Okay, that makes sense. You know,
yeah, you still got my necklace on. That don't mean shit.
Care about that ain't no chain. That's a necklace.
I was waiting for her to pull a Rashad from ATL.
She did it, but she didn't do it in the way that she was supposed to.
She did it like karate style.
Kiana, you can't put them type of words.
What, waffle? Can't put waffle?
Yeah, you put waffle. You put waffle. But it seemed very petty. Like this entire movie just seemed like petty. Like everybody did something for a petty reason. You know what I'm saying? Like Booker gave Andy his immortality because he wanted to be petty. Tua came down to fight with
Book and now.
With Book and now, just so you know what I'm saying, he could.
Come on, hey man, let me get in on this.
Yeah, let me get in on this. He's like, man, you know what I'm trying to do, cuz. You know what I'm trying to do. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Like you cutting in on the 2-step. Leave me alone. So you got that part, but then you turn around, you got basically you got Discord saying, all right, you know what? Everybody still got their powers. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna take mine from everybody else. And I'm gonna have all the immortality, which it don't work that way, but you know what I'm saying, whatever. Excuse me. But
she
even with like
the Queen, it was like, oh, she disappointed you again, huh?
Like with Booker, man, even like with Booker, so Booker lost it. So Booker lost his immortality, right? So Booker gave up his immortality, gave it to Andy, and like,
but he realized it was gone just in the little sparring that they was doing in the yard,
right?
Because then he told Tua, he was like, you cannot tell Andy that I ain't got the juice no more.
So this is my thing. All right. So, and this is where they fail to explain this. So, at what point do you tell that person they can have their they can have your immortality? Because if the cut from Nile takes your immortality away, at what point, like, is there a time frame you have before you can like be like, hey, you know what I'm saying, here's my immortality? Because if you think about it, like, Andy lost hers. It wasn't like she could transfer it to anybody. She just lost it. So, like, at what point between you getting cut and you seeing Andy, did you give it to
her? I definitely got more questions than answers.
This whole movie was a question.
And I hate how there were so many dead spots in the choreography, like in the fight scenes. Like it was a whole lot of staring contests in this movie where there could have been dialogue and people are just fucking staring at each other.
I said, but he was cut at that point. He was cut at that point, Kiana. Like, so when does it go from, like, do you have 5 minutes to do it? Do you have 5 seconds to do it? Do you have 5 hours to do it? At what point can you give it away? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but that's the thing with this movie, man. Like the choreography, for one, where you, like you were saying, bro. Like, I remember watching the first one, I'm like, oh, these fight moves are clean. I was watching the one where Quinn and Andy are fighting by the car, and at first I'm like, oh, okay, all right, like they pick it up a little bit. It's
like tight space. Cool. You feel me?
Yeah, it was dope. And then like it was like shaky. I was like,
and then it just fell flat.
That's the point. Like, that's why it's so lame. Like, you don't give nobody any kind of parameters on none of this stuff. It just, like, we gave y'all, all right, you know what I'm saying? They don't give you a reason why you wake up immortal. You just wake up immortal one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were the last immortal or whatever, however that happens. You know what I'm saying? You lose your immortality because the last immortal cut you. All right, cool. You can will your powers to somebody, and we give you no explanation on that.
So Discord is talking to Quinn, and Discord was like, "What do you want, Quinn?" She was like, "I want him to suffer." She was like, "Bet we gonna pull up on them niggas." And Quinn was like,
Why? Why do you want
"Not
all
just
of them to suffer?
not just them. I want everybody to suffer." And I'm like, okay, here it is. Here is the moment that she wants revenge on Andy and the gang so bad that I'm willing to put the fate of the entire planet in jeopardy. In my mind, this is what I'm thinking. Like, she is going to develop a power so strong, as the wiki of the movie suggests, that she is going to be this worldwide threat. And I'm like, okay, even though Discord is the first ever immortal, Quinn's revenge tour is going to be so gangster that even Discord can't do shit but sit back and watch. Discord is going to facilitate it, but Quinn is going to turn into the worst version of Broly from Dragon Ball Z that can't nobody do nothing with. Nope. I don't care if you do the fusion dance. I don't care if you jump me. I don't care what you do. There is a version of Broly that there was nobody in the entire universe could do nothing with that nigga. I'm thinking that's where this is going. Okay, this is the good part. This is where we get to the good part. This is where she turns into Killmonger. So they go to this nuclear plant and plant bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you're gonna kill a bunch of people. You know what's stupid about that, Mo?
No, there's nobody explains this plan. Discord doesn't talk about it. Quinn doesn't talk about it. Nobody talks about it. It literally just transitions to, hey, there's this big nuclear plant. We're just going to go in there and plant bombs to create an explosion that will be big enough to kill 10 million people.
Why?
What is the motivation behind this?
Why?
What is the motivation behind this outside of, I'm going to do something super obvious and out in the open that's going to jeopardize the lives of 10 million innocent people to the point these niggas have to come here to try to stop me. Outside of the classic hook and ladder, this is what all villains do in all Saturday morning cartoons, in all movies. I'm finna do something so diabolical that it's going to force them to come to me. It's the oldest trick in the book. Outside of that, there is nothing that explains the motivation behind them doing this. It's like they just did some shit just to do it.
And to walk into a trap and have no plan.
And you knew it was a trap before you got there.
And to like have no plan whatsoever, like,
okay, Copley has the blueprint, has the floor plan for the nuclear plant. So we're gonna go in, and he pissed me off because
did he die
13 times? Fuck, did Copley die? I don't fucking know, but at least 16 times he was like, now we have to assume that Discord knows exactly where we are. And we have to assume that this, that, and the third. And don't forget, we have to assume that Quinn knows the password to your iPhone. Now you got to go this way to get to the second floor, but we got to assume that Discord knows that y'all will be on the second floor. Now, go up the hallway, make a right, not a left. Make sure you make that right. And we got to assume that Quinn knows that when y'all get to the hallway, y'all going to make a right, not a left. Then, when y'all get off the elevator, it's going to be a punch container on the receptionist's desk. But we got to assume that Discord knows that when we get off the elevator, that we're going to see the punch dispenser. And I'm just like, I'm about to assume you this ass whooping if you don't shut the fuck up. Because you're just repeating the same line over and over and over. And the director wrote this shit and was like, yep, I'm gonna kill him with this one.
And this is why you don't change directors. Continuity issues, character continuity issues.
Because when the production for How High 2 was made public, even though I fucks with Lil Yachty, even though I fucks with DC Young Fly, the moment that I heard, oh, Red and Meth said they ain't want nothing to do with part 2, I was like, what the fuck am I gonna watch it for? So this just ain't finna be nothing like the first one. Nothing at all.
You got Independence Day resurgence. Will Smith said, no, I'm good.
We've seen this so many times where you take a banger of a movie, even if the movie isn't a banger, even if you only love it because it's personal preference, regardless to how good or bad the movie is. You strike gold on the first one. And then the second one comes, and you know the second one's going to be trash before it even is released. Come on now, dog.
Yeah. So as soon as they said the director is changing, I said, whip.
So Copley leads them to the core of the plan. And he was like, it'll be wise for you to not use your firearms in this environment. Because you fucking around and blow everything up, you blow yourself up.
But everybody had guns.
But everybody had guns. So Quinn's team, they ambush Andy and the gang in the core. They got him outnumbered like 10-1. So simultaneously, everybody puts their guns down and pulls out swords. So they're like, okay, so even they know they get to firing off shots in here, nigga. Everybody going kablooey. So we finna run these fades. So they start running hella fades. And in the process, Copley manages to lead them to the control room where they get frozen by liquid nitrogen, put in body bags, vacuum sealed, and loaded on the helicopters. The only ones who made it, or the only ones who didn't get body bagged, was Andy and Book. So now. So they get to a corridor where they're both hiding behind the door, waiting for the door to open because the ops is in the hallway. So Andy was like, hey, I know I normally go first, but this time around, hey, Book, I need you to go first. He was like, nah, Andy, you always go first. He was like, I know that I always go first, but this time I need you to go first. And he was like, nah, I need you to go first. And she was like, why you need me to go first? And he held his arm up. And then she was like, fuck.
Bro, hey, listen, check this out, bro.
So
ain't no way you ain't see that bleeding bandage. You ain't this whole
the
time.
cut on his arm was this big.
This whole time. You ain't see that. You ain't see that big old cut on his arm not healing. You weren't in the middle. You weren't in the middle of the plans and was like,
and see, and this is the part of transferring immortality that confused me, because they established in the movie you have to willingly give your immortality, but he gave it to her without her even knowing.
That's what I'm saying.
I got my expiration date. You have purpose. I don't. No, he was like, you have purpose in the world, and this is mine. Close the door, and it's like,
and got stopped up 37 times.
took himself out of the game.
He ain't even.
But he didn't.
I ain't beat every. He didn't. I'm like, okay, you just engaged in a 1v4, right? For no reason.
What about you doing this 1v4 was going to change the outcome of the situation?
None. It was a stupid sacrifice.
It was
supposed to be some kind of redeeming art for him, but it wasn't. He looked stupid.
Nothing about you doing that was going to change the outcome of the situation. There's no other way for me to put that, because I'm trying to think of a situation in a movie that was valid for that one person to stay behind and make sure that the mission got done. But I got to do this one thing where I close myself off. I'm gonna go down fighting.
Armageddon.
But me doing this is going to contribute to the outcome of the situation.
Armageddon.
Perfect example.
The core.
One of us got to stay behind because the bomb has to be manually detonated. I'm going to give my life to save the world. That is a perfect example of somebody giving their life to change the outcome of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Volcano, when the grandma jumped out of the... No, Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak.
See, all the movies be coming out at the same time, like Volcano and Dante's Peak, but the granny jumped out of the boat.
Booker doing that
made no sense.
Was for fucking nothing.
It made zero sense.
Zero.
He actually could have used her. I mean, she could have used him when she went up against
Discord. That fight pissed me off too.
You know why it was stupid? You would have thought Andy had never fought in her life ever. She started getting beat immediately. Like it wasn't like oh they were exchanging blows, you know what I'm saying? It was two dominant people going up against each other. No, she was getting hands and feet put on her by Discord, who was mortal.
Because according to the way that the movie illustrated it, y'all are the two oldest immortals. Everybody thought Andy was the oldest one or the first one, but it's like, no, it was her.
Correct. Who is now mortal.
Now, even though she's mortal, it doesn't delete the fact that she's caught centuries worth of fate.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. But
centuries worth of fades.
Does that negate Andy's
This is supposed to be a Clash of the Titans fade. Jesus Christ. This is supposed to be like Goku versus Beerus.
Goku versus Vegeta. Goku versus anybody.
This is supposed to be Afro Samurai versus one. Or what was Buddy's name that killed his dad? This is supposed to be that.
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to be this is supposed to be Kong versus that's the big one.
But hey, did we talk about Kong was trying to get Godzilla to
This is supposed to be Godzilla versus Ghidorah.
And when Godzilla got up there, Kong was like, "Oh, he close. Oh, hey, nah, brother. I'm just, brother, wait." Kong, boy, after Godzilla put them paws on Kong, he ain't want no more. he want no more. But but nah, man, I just, it was disappointing. It felt disappointing because that it felt like that's the only way she knew how to get to a movie 3. That's really what it felt like. It felt like you have no other writing skills, no other storytelling skills. So the only way that you can get this movie to a number 3 is to have Andy
Have-
lose.
Have Discord fly off in helicopters with your whole gang.
And why was it 4 helicopters?
And then she jumped out the one helicopter and was like, "Hey, circle back around real quick while I catch this fade."
hey, go to the store real quick while
And then the helicopter came back quick. Like, oh, they still fight.
Oh, hey, go to the store real quick so I can beat her up. Can you give me like a little minute? Because I'm going to hurt her. So can you give me like 5? Bro, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm walking away from the fight. Anybody that tell the person that they came with to get them 5 minutes,
So real quick, because all right, so there was a scene where Niall catches up to Quinn.
Yep.
And they engage in fisticuffs.
Yep.
Niall give Quinn a slice to the midsection.
Yeah.
To the midsection.
Mm-hmm.
Enough time goes by where Quinn is like, "Oh shit, I'm not immortal no more."
Mm-hmm.
So
who she gave her powers to?
Because she got cut by Niall. Remember, Niall's a destroyer. She can blase. So before Andy catches the fade with Discord, she finds Quinn sitting on a bomb with a detonator in her hand and talks her out of blowing everything the fuck up. So then she goes and catches the fade with Discord. Discord put the beats on her, flies off with 6 helicopters with the whole gang, body bagged up. So then she goes back to the library, finds Quinn in the library, and they become besties all over again. It was like, we gotta go find Discord. The end.
Bro, I don't know why they felt like this was the hill to go with. I got my original like
the only thing that really made sense was Discord trying to explain that Andy wasn't necessarily like the greatest person. Like, she got good intentions, but she don't always make the best decisions. She was like, so I bet I'll bet money Andy was the one who told you that you had to fake your own death so that your family would think you was dead. And Andy told you to do this, and Andy told you to do that. Like, that's your leader, that's your boss, but she ain't perfect. But yeah, this movie, it has so many dead spots. So much more could have been done with the fight choreography. And
that's what was truly disappointing. Like, the fight choreography was just
like, why are they just staring at each other? Like, say something, goddammit.
I thought that the car thing was pretty cool, but it felt more so like comedy relief than anything. When she drove the boat up on the thing, I don't know.
And you know what? That's really how the movie started.
I knew it was gonna be disappointing when, like, she drove the boat up on there for no reason.
Like, they had to run down on the mansion from Vice City. And Andy was like, hey, y'all get the maze. But don't worry, it ain't gonna be like 1863.
Oh, what happened?
And of course, Nelly was like, what the fuck happened to 1863? They're like, yeah, there was a cannon. We didn't know that there was a cannon. and Booker got his head blew off, and we couldn't find his head in the page.
Give me a flashback to that. I would have loved to see that. But yeah, disappointed. I gave it a 3 out of 5 on the first watch, just because. Give me a 1.
But even just typing it into Google, like off to the side, there's a box that said, "This movie was a disappointment. It is not nearly as fascinating as the first one."
No.
Like there's
Not at all. Give it a 1. I'll give it a 1.
Because I watched the first one at work today. Like I literally watched both movies today.
Mm-hmm.
And after the first one, I was like, unfortunately, I have already seen the internet talk about how disappointing the second was. So I was like, yeah, I fucks with the first one. Definitely fucks with the first one. And then they leave this one wide open for a part 3. And I'm just like, I don't know.
They forced a part 3. They forced a part 3 in this, to be honest. You could have cut this out. They forced a part 3, and I don't care for it.
Because the first one was like 2 hours and what?
2 hours and 5 minutes. And this was an hour and some change, like hour 40.
So at this point, if Niall isn't Reggie from Bad Boys for Life in the third one, like Niall damn near has to be the main character in my opinion, since she has this power beyond her own recognition.
But how long are you gonna keep Charlize Theron going on this trip? Like, bro,
but she got her immortality back.
But she's like the person. I mean, the person is older.
Correct.
Like 5 years older.
So it's like now you got Andy, you got Quinn back, and you have Niall, who is there will be no more after her. She's the last one. I don't know, man. This shit ain't coming out till 2030 anyway.
I'm good. I've seen enough.
Because unless you get Ryan Coogler to help you write this shit, like I don't know. Yeah, I get it. Should have 1.5. 2 at the absolute max, but I give it a 1.5.
Anyway, what are y'all thoughts in the comments? It looks like y'all kind of all thinking the same thing that we're thinking.
We're all on the same page.
We're all on the same page with this movie. I don't know. Tuesday.
Didn't catch enough phase in this movie for me, for her to be on the revenge tour that she was on. She didn't catch nearly enough phase.
She won. It was one, and then she killed some soldiers.
And that was it.
That was it. To be that mad for 500 years, and you killed 5 guards. Jake, shut up. You're not upset. You're having a bad day. Like you're having a bad day. You're not upset. You're just having a bad day. That's it. Like, shut up.
Hell, what's the name had a worse day than her? They got a gun put in his mouth. Trigger pull.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's gonna take at least 10 minutes for this nigga to recover from this.
Mm-hmm. And we don't even know if your boy dead or not. So, yeah. Sure to answer for character. Copeland. Yeah, we don't know if he's dead or not.
Big mark on Copeland because he's an actual human. Because he was like, "Hey, Tua, how old are you?" He was like, "Shit, probably about like 2,300." How old are you? He was like, "Shit, I think I'm 43." I'm regular to the bitch.
I'm regular, cuz I got a birthday coming up, cuz I don't know what I'm gonna celebrate.
44. This nigga said I'm 2,300.
Yeah, I'm good, cuz. But
he was like, I'm about 2,300. I think. Because even when they asked Andy, he was like, "How old are you?" She was like, "Shit, I don't know." It was like she really don't know how old she is. It was like I don't think she.
Stop counting, bro.
But when you've been
I was born one of them years. I don't even think they had birthdays back then.
and then I don't even know if I want to bring this scene up.
I'm trying to think of what scene you talking about.
Nope, I'm leaving where it is. I'm leaving where it is.
What scene you talking about?
When it was in the back of the squad truck. The two guys. Because first of all, I noticed in the first one that there was Big Spoon, Little Spoon in the little twin size bed. I was like, oh, they together.
Hey.
But the scene in the second movie when it was in the back of the squad car, I mean the back of the Loomis truck, and he was like, I have to make sure he's okay.
Mm. Yeah. Give me one, man. This movie about it. I don't care.
I've known this nigga for 1,000 years. I know he's lying.
I know when he lying. He sounded like a black woman, man. He sounded like a black girlfriend. I don't know who you think he lying to. Yeah. Anyway, Tuesday, we got Ken's favorite movie coming up, Fast
Who
X.
conveniently is no longer in the chat, but he was all up in the motherfucker when we started.
Yeah, we got Fast X coming up with Jason Momoa
And John Cena.
and John Cena, and we don't know what ethnicity Vin Diesel is. Dominic Toretto is, but his son is definitely mixed with black.
The name would suggest.
I don't know how two Caucasian passing people made a mixed baby, but yeah, we're gonna go with that. Let's go with that. That baby got black in him for real.
Space? This one where they went to space? No.
No, this is different. This is nah.
This the one with the girl who didn't have no driver's license. You know, don't worry about it.
Nah, this is not that one. This is what's that? This?
I don't know. I got them all mixed up at this point.
I don't know, man. I gotta go watch it. So anyway, we'll catch y'all next time right here on the Popcorn and Beer podcast. Yeah. I'm being host Rashad, aka this movie was met. That's my tagline. I ain't got nothing.
And last but not least, I am the King MOE, aka both me and Rashad called Duke prior to this podcast. He did not answer the phone. So Duke, if you watching this on the replay, I hope you got a boogie in your nose and don't nobody tell you that you got a boogie in your nose, and you just walk around with a boogie in your nose.
And then it fall out like
on your white t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Brush your teeth.
All 32 of them.
And we out of here. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Before
to cut everybody off.
like now.
I took
Going on?
I don't think that's wild, bro.
Where are we coming up with these questions? Orgy going on? My man said he's a joke.
She aged like cheese.
Speak
on it, brother. Speak on it. Practically become Bruce Wayne.
What we gotta do, Mika?
Push the goddamn button, man.